Hey, everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Happy Hour. I am Tim Gillette, your co host, and this is
Glad spelled well, Lady G for you.
LadyG, MrT. All right, that's the nicknames we have, but this is our happy hour show we like to do on Monday night. All right, kind of doing something interesting this week. I've got all like the Christmassy foods that we agreed upon. See? In my lovely platter that I stole from my wife. I don't have the fancy platter like you do. All right. Um, I actually have my glasses because I'm going to do drinks that are holiday drinks, and I have my glasses. I
Ooh,
have
all
all the,
pretty.
and I put it in. I had them in the freezer for about an hour, but the chocolate didn't freeze up solid enough. And this one here is just graham crackers. So I'll
Oh,
tell you what the drinks are. And these cups that I'm making on them, these were Gwen's great grandmother's or great aunt's
oh,
like champagne glasses, and Gwen and
ooh.
I used to have our nightly martinis in these.
Oh, that is so sweet. See, because the ones that I'm using,
Yeah.
they're not as old, and but they were my mama's, and
Mhm,
she's
mhm.
got the big punch bowl or had the big punch bowl with all the little glasses that would
Yes.
go around.
Hung around it.
Great thing about these is that you can use them for hot or cold. And
Mhm.
so I thought, ooh, I got a hot drink. And then I went, ooh, I got a cold drink. So I thought these would be perfect to use for that. So
It's a great combination.
we
So
were on the same wavelength there.
cool. So, well, let's start off because I know you have a hot drink,
I
and I
do, I
know
do.
I mean some of our stuff. So we do this in our offices every week, guys. So we have to do a lot of prep beforehand. So we're gonna do the hot drink first, because and what we're doing this week is just we've picked recipes of mixed drinks that we want to have for Christmas parties. So Gladys, why don't you start with your hot drink?
Well, what I did was that there were, as I was looking for what are drinks that are festive winter that you can have that you can share, and one of them that I did not want to go the long route and make is hot buttered rum. So what I did is that I cheated, and instead of making my spice buttered rum, there is a recipe for it, it's
Yeah.
fairly easy. I went and I got it at the store. You can get it at Walmart, you can get it at Kroger, at Safeway, whatever you may have.
Uh huh.
It's usually around the area that has the drinks. There's no alcohol in this, so you can just have it. The kids can have this, which is really cool. And all you need to do is scoop a little bit because it is a butter. That's
Yeah.
what
It's a
this is.
butter.
And then
It
you
looks
add
like
hot water.
fudge, but it's a butter, right?
It does. So you then add the hot water and you mix it until it is all mixed. And then, okay, that's what the kiddies get. For the adults, what you do is that you add, and in this case, there's history behind the hot buttered rum. This is the only one I have history behind. Is that it was during the colonial times. There was rum was more popular than whiskey was at one point because it's so close to the Caribbean. The colonies were right there, and
Hmm.
so a lot of it was all about rum and making all sorts of drinks. So it goes back to colonial days. There are some books that have the the buttered rum in there because it was said that when a woman had a child, that it was customary to give a hot toddy or a buttered rum or warm spirits to their guests to welcome the child. And of course, if there was something wrong with the child, they said, give it some of this. So, and everything that was found was all around housekeeping and women. So I don't think this started as a tavern type drink. I think it was more of a house
A
drink.
home health aid, you think?
Yes, that's what I think.
Yeah.
So see how just mixing it
Hmm.
mixes fairly quickly. So
And
then,
that's because of the heat of the water. Now, do you
yeah,
boil your water or did you just?
no, I heated it. I got one of these little
Yeah,
doohickeys.
yeah.
This thing is amazing. What I did do, I did put it into another little container, but I figured it probably cooled off a bit.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
one was given to me by my sister-in-law many eons ago, probably 20 years ago. So I've had this one for a long time, but it was really pretty decor, so I had to bring that out. One of the things that I didn't do to this one that I normally do personally is when I don't like cold drinks in, or I don't like hot drinks in cold mugs
Hmm.
because your drink gets cold very quickly. So, what I personally do for a drink is that I add a little bit of hot water to it and swirl it around and let it sit there for a little bit so that it warms up my cup, and then I toss that out because I don't want it to dilute whatever I'm making, and then I add my drink to it. So that is my way of heating up my my cups. The other thing I do
Another way that I've done that too, to just to heat the cups up, is put water in the cup, put it in the microwave for like 30 or 60 seconds,
Yep.
and then dump the water out, and now the mug is warmed.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
we don't have microwaves in our offices. We have to go out to the office to get the microwaves. So.
Right. The other thing that I do with plates is I hate cold plates, so they get thrown in a microwave, or if there's on top of the hot stove before it cools down, I just put the plates there in order to warm them up because I don't want them to cool off my my food. So now that this is all nice, and then I'll add. The nice thing about a buttered rum is that you can really do anything to it. Your butter, you can make it. You can add all the spices you want. You can kick it up a notch and add a little bit of like a red chili powder in there to give it a little kick if you want. In this case, I am using Kraken Black Spiced Rum. Release the Kraken. So this
Where's Kraken? I've heard that brand. Where is that brand from?
This is, let me look, Indiana. It's bottled by Kraken Rum Company,
Indiana.
Indiana. Indiana. So,
yep.
Product and shipped by Fine Rums to points around the world. So it's the Kraken Rum Company.
Kraken Rum Company. We'll be able to put that in the notes today.
They have a coffee one. I've been leery of tasting that one because even though I like coffee, I don't know that I want coffee in my rum. There's certain things that so then you don't have to measure it. In this case, I'm just kind of winging it a little bit because it's a smaller cup than normal. And then you just swirl it around and you have this yummy, yummy drink that just warms you up. And you can curl up. Yesterday, I curled up with a nice big cup. Actually, this was a cup, nice and big, and watch the movie. So this was you can do whatever you want with it. If you're being festive, use your pretty china with it, or if you just want something easy, just get your mug, put it in there. Adjust your buttered rum amount based on how much water. It's supposed to be like 12 ounces to one big scoop, but really, if you want it stronger, do that. You can also add ice cream. Again, make it your own.
Now, all that was in that drink was the buttered rum, the rum, hot water. That's it. And yeah, and I could see like maybe I'd add a little whipped cream or coffee to that, or not coffee, or ice cream to that, vanilla ice cream to that. That would be a great add to that. It sounds like.
Absolutely. That buttered rum, do what you want with it. Throw it, or if you keep it a little bit thicker, you can add it to ice cream, just a little bit, more buttered, the buttered rum, and then a little bit of water to make it somewhat syrupy, and then throw it on your ice cream. And then, when you're making a banana split, oh my goodness, how delicious would this be?
Well, I can't have the bananas in the banana split. You would do that to me, wouldn't you? Yes, Tim has an allergy to bananas. Of all things to have an allergy to, bananas.
So don't use a banana split without the banana, and just add,
I'm thinking, no. I'm thinking pouring that over a nice hot fudge sundae.
Oh, yes. I think so. That would be a great combination. Absolutely. Oh my goodness.
I know, and this is Christmas time. We're gonna come up. I mean, that's we're going to have to do an episode with alcohol to have with ice cream.
I like that idea. That's going to be a July one, I think.
Yeah, you don't want to do an ice cream one in January. I'm just saying, yeah.
Although I will tell you, years ago when I lived in California, came out of a movie at, 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. It's cold out, and I guess cold for me is anything below 80. But this was actually, people were shivering outside in Los Angeles, but they were all hovered around this heat lamp while they were eating ice cream. So, yes, people do eat ice cream during the winter.
Yes, it was LA. It was probably 65 degrees out there, and they got cold.
There is that possibility. Yes. So we're going to pair this. I'm going to try this. So what we have out is, I have Brussels sprouts, Tim does not.
I failed in the Brussels sprouts, and my wife is not going to let me live it down. But anyway, it's her mistake, not mine.
Well, there's something that I forgot, which was the cranberries, which I had, and I left them at home. Tim has the cranberries, but I do have cranberry Bliss. I'm thinking it's going to go great with the cranberry Bliss, but before I get there, I have to try it. The other thing we have are garlic. I have garlic red mashed potatoes.
I did garlic white. Yeah.
Okay. And then I have horseradish with roast beef, but it's a high quality roast beef that I got from the deli. So it's a carving. It's one of those that they carved for me from an actual piece of roast beef. So it's like, I want to try it with that first, because I think that a little bit of the spice, a little bit of the hot would go well. Oh my goodness. That's a nice combination. The warmth of it picks up the horseradish a little bit, but then the butter just gives it a little bit of sweetness in there that just, I like that.
Yeah, the mistake I made, I tasted the roast beef I got, and I got pieces of beef, right? Steak type prime rib beef. And I got that with when it was cold, and I heated it up, and I'm telling you, it was better cold with what I did. But anyway, the horseradish was part of, I think, was what's going to make our flavor palette go out really interesting this week. So, and when I got it at a place, we have a place down here called Eatsy's, right? It's a neat market we have. Excuse me, I'm choking potato. While I'm in there this morning getting the beef, I said to the lady, I said, well, do you have mashed potatoes? Because I had the garlic mashed potatoes almost mixed up at home. She says, no, we don't have garlic mashed potatoes, but we have regular mashed potatoes, and they're really good. And I said, they have to be garlic mashed potatoes today. And she goes, why? And I said, well, I do a podcast with someone, and that is on the recipe tonight. She goes, oh, really?
Podcast?
Yeah, it's no. This is like you want, and the same thing in the liquor store today, because I had to get something different today for one of my drinks. And the guy's like, well, I can get this and this. And I'm like, no, it has to be this, because this is what we're doing tonight. And he goes, what? On what? I said, on my podcast. And this is the guy at Total Wine and More. He's like, you do a podcast? Yeah.
Tell me more.
Tell me more.
Well, I'm getting to the end of this, so I have got to try it with the cranberry. Ooh, I had another bite of the horseradish with that roast beef, and I could feel it right here. And it's like, it's yummy. I do like that. So I got to cleanse my palate a little bit. So today I do have fizzy water, but I opted for the Nestle Pure Life because it's a little mini me, so it's cute. So I want to cleanse the palate. Remember, people, hydrate. It's important. You do not want to be.
I always have water.
Yeah, water is so important. For a couple
I
of
did
reasons.
fine this week. For my water, because I like a fizzy water. I got the Topo Chicos. I got like a case of it.
Oh, good.
Because to me, that is a great way to cleanse palates in between things.
Yes.
So I just have tons of it here now. So
perfect. Did you see that? And I don't know if you have it, but I did find that Topo Chico has a seltzer. Now,
yes, they have a hard seltzer. I seen it in Fort Worth this weekend when we were over in Fort Worth, that there was a bar over there that had it. And I was like, whoa, I almost was going to get it and try it. So
I haven't tried it. I've been curious though. So next, it's a delicious cranberry
Bliss bar from Starbucks.
So it was the last.
I cut mine into pieces. So mine's in little pieces.
I kind of
do everything in bite size because I don't know what I don't want to sit here be doing this while we're.
Well, it's so soft that you can just cut it. Well, I told the girl, she said, it's the last one. And I said, perfect, because I'm doing a podcast and she's all, podcast?
Yes.
And she goes, oh, you're going to
do a podcast on our food? Yes, we are.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing it without the endorsements. So, all right, it's not like they're paying us to treat their food. No, we pick the food. We go find the food and we go find the drinks. So.
Ooh, that is yummy, actually.
No.
I was expecting it to be a little too much because sweet and sweet. I've never had this cranberry bliss. I think it's a cream cheese topping because it's nice and soft.
Yes.
And I like that. So yeah, apparently I liked my buttered rum because it's gone.
It's gone. Yeah. So one of the things that I'm going to do here today is one of the things I had to get today because I didn't have any was simple syrup because
Oh,
my drinks have simple syrup into them, and I decided to use some of the vodka that I've got to get to you.
oh, you're
This is
teasing
Dripping
me.
Springs, Texas. So I just scraped up my desk with
Well,
vodka.
oh, that's still not cool. You do realize that I read somewhere that they said make your own simple syrup because it's sugar and
I
water.
know I read that today, but I didn't have time to. I mean, with all the stuff I knew I had to do, and Gwen's not here, so my kitchen is a disaster from just getting this ready tonight. And I will have to go down and clean my kitchen when I'm done.
I was going to say, you better
here.
clean it before Gwen is back because
Yeah.
she's not going to be happy with you or me.
So, yeah, Gwen, she planned all this stuff. So usually all the leftovers, Gwen and I sit and feast on the leftovers when we're done at night. So I always make extra, and that's usually what we eat is the leftovers. So did you just rim your glass there?
I did.
Oh man, so I rimmed my glasses ahead of time. So what I'm doing tonight is two drinks. I'm going with the Christmas martinis.
Ooh, okay.
So number one martini that all right. I found a recipe, but I decided to doctor it to what I want. Number one is it is a gingerbread martini.
Okay.
All right. I have a gingerbread, a nice gingerbread spiked latte liqueur.
Okay.
All right.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I went looking for. I was going to do it a different way with milk and a gingerbread syrup. I decided when I found that to go with that because it's already spiked. Then I have my Baileys.
Okay.
And vodka.
Oh.
Now I sprinkled some cinnamon and nutmeg into it.
Ooh,
and I have it already mixed in here, guys. So basically, I'm just going to put it in here, shake it up with some ice. A little bit. Where's my ice cups? See, I got iced tears too.
Oh, good job.
Yeah.
And a mixer. I didn't bring my mixer today.
I know. I decided I was going to mix them here, shake them and ice them up here, and then pour them out.
I love the sound of the ice.
So, and then one of the reasons is now I actually took graham crackers.
Oh.
All right. And did my rim. Now these, like I said, this was one of those glasses that was Gwen's great aunt's glass. So
did you put simple syrup on the edge in order to get the graham crackers?
I did it with simple syrup. I know some people go other routes to do it.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I added to it, because I did this ahead of time yesterday to taste it and come up with and make my recipe right. But I decided to then sprinkle more nutmeg and cinnamon on top.
Well, that's what makes it look beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's part of what making your own drink is all about, is making it your own. You know, doing what makes you feel like this is, for me, it's got to look pretty. Whether it's food, it's got to look pretty. Whether it's a drink. If it's for me, it's like, hey, oh my goodness, that looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, all right. Now, this did call, like some recipes do this with milk, but that's the three things I put in, and then I just shake it up.
Okay.
Oh. I'm telling you, the simple syrup was something I was almost not going to add, but I added it just to give that little bit of sweetness to take the cinnamon and put a little sugar to the cinnamon.
So the latte liqueur that you use, it's not sweet then. I would have thought it would have had a certain sweetness to it.
It does have a sweetness to it, but I added a little bit more of the sweetness.
Okay.
So
depending on how much they like the sweet, they can add a little bit more simple syrup, a little bit less.
Yeah, I was looking to see how much alcohol was actually in it.
That's important to know.
14%.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and literally, I was going for I was going for I was going to do a gingerbread syrup, but found this, and now it took me the milk and the syrup together
into
and
one.
a little bit more alcohol to the drink.
Yeah, some of these drinks you really have to watch because you don't want them to hit you at the wrong time. All right, what are you pairing that with? What are you going to taste with it? Because that looked just.
The first thing I'm going to do is have it with the cranberry Bliss bar.
Okay. Life is uncertain. Eat dessert first.
Yeah. Because believe it or not, I do not have any cranberries in my drinks. You
Okay.
would think I would have come up with a cranberry drink. I didn't.
I didn't either. Oh, you know what? I am missing one of the ingredients of my drink.
Uh-oh. Where's that?
It's kind of an important ingredient.
Where's it at?
It's in the fridge. I just have to run right outside and grab it.
Well, here's what we're going to do is I want you to run and get it while I finish tasting this.
Oh, perfect.
All right. Because when you start prepping your drink, I'm going to have to go rinse my shaker out because I only have one.
Okay. All right. I'll be right back.
So yeah, I did this here with the first one with the cranberry Bliss bar, which takes the cream cheese in the Bliss bar and it gives it like that creaminess to your drink, which this is a pretty creamy drink with the lattes type stuff. So normally though, what we would have is try to have it with the potatoes. So Gwen made my garlic mashed potatoes and she roasted my garlic and did it for ahead of time. And
All right. So
okay, so the saltiness in the potatoes really goes well with this drink. And it brings out the cinnamon.
Ooh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna move on to the meats.
Oh, it's gotta feel like you're having breakfast. I don't know. I'm having latte with some meat. I would think breakfast. Ooh, breakfast. Ooh, I think that's a great brunch drink. You have your mimosas, your Bloody Marys, and what do you call that you're drinking?
This one here is a gingerbread martini.
Gingerbread martini. Somehow I think you can have that for brunch.
I would think it would be a brunch thing.
You're making my mouth water. That's all I have to say.
It goes good with everything that we have here. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of my cranberry sauce.
Okay.
No, that's going to throw some tartness into it, so it might not match.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Because you had sweetness and you had some savory, but the tart, I don't know how well that's going to go.
No, that's a bad match. The cranberry Bliss bar, yes. Cranberry sauce, no.
No. Okay. And I think it's just like you said, the tartness. Sometimes it's just what are you pairing it with?
Yes, exactly. So, and that's exactly what happened is that, but we pick the foods, ladies and gentlemen. And then Gladys and I had to go find our drinks to go with the food. We did not, like normally we would match up we would pair our foods with our drinks. Today we picked the food first and then we went on our own to find our drinks. And I didn't know what Gladys's drinks were until earlier today. And she didn't know what mine were until earlier today.
Right.
So. Anyway, I have to go rinse out.
Okay.
You're going to move on to your next drink while I go rinse to prep for making my next martini.
Perfect. All right. So my next one is a pomegranate ginger smash. So this is a cold drink. What I did was that I have the way that I rimmed mine was that I took the end of it, not Marianne. This is ginger. What I do is that I keep it in the freezer. And I've been asked, why do I keep my ginger in the freezer? One, because it's a lot easier to peel and a lot easier to grate. And so I took one of the little ends and I used that to wet, if you will, the edge of my glass. Then what I have in here is the zested ginger, a little bit of rosemary and sugar. This is an organic brownish sugar that you can use. And then I just rimmed the glass and just dipped it in here to get it all around. You don't have to do that, but it's part of making it look pretty. So that's part of it. What it calls for, and I'm not going to make as much as it calls for, is the pomegranate juice. Well, I have a hard time finding pomegranate by itself. It was all sold out except for like the gallon jug, and I didn't want that much. So I got pomegranate cherry because I thought, ooh, cherry would be fun.
Cherry's a good Christmas combination.
That's what I thought. I said, you know what? They had a green tea and a blueberry, and I said, no, cherry. So it normally calls for 1 cup of this, 2/3 cup of I decided to use the Eddie vodka.
Deep Eddy, Texas vodka.
I found that there's a couple of other flavors of Deep Eddy.
Yeah.
I found it. I was like going, that's so cool. So Deep Eddy and
I almost for mine was going to do whipped cream vodka, and I'm like, no, I'm going to use regular vodkas to make my drinks and put my flavoring in other things.
So it calls for the pomegranate juice, the vodka. Mind you, it's 2/3 cup and 2/3 beer, but because I don't have as much room in here, I'm just gonna wing it and kind of eyeball it. And if you normally, this is a drink that you can make in a big pitcher, or excuse me, either a pitcher or a punch bowl. But I'm not adding as much of everything that it's calling for, but that's okay, you know. And then to make it look even prettier, because this is a pomegranate cherry, look at that gorgeous color. It almost looks like a wine. Is you can get some cherries and just cut them. If you have a pitter, pit them or just cut them into little pieces, and then just pour them in there. You can also rim them with a little bit of sugar, throw them in there. If you have a pitter, that's perfect, because then what you can do is after you've pitted them, you can use it you'll have more space to put it on the glass. Put a sprig of rosemary in there. And because I dipped it in there, there's a little bit of rosemary in my drink. Oh, wow. So you get a little bit of the sugar from the rim. You get a little bit of the kick from the vodka. The ginger, oh my goodness. The ginger gives it a little bit of spiciness in there.
So I actually looked at that drink to make.
Oh, really?
I did look at it. I was looking at that, as well as there was a pomegranate, cranberry, mule that I looked at, and I thought about going there. Same very basics on there, only we would have had ginger beer into it. Well, you have ginger beer in it, don't you?
Yeah. Yep, ginger beer. So essentially, it's you can't call it a Moscow Mule because it has the pomegranate juice, but it's a variation of it. So hence why it's a pomegranate. You know,
I think the one that I looked at with the mule actually had some apple juice into it, apple cider into it as well.
Oh, okay, that sounds awesome. Okay. So I'm going to pair this with the Brussels sprouts, and these are just buttered Brussels sprouts. And
you
again,
didn't do the maple bacon ones we said we were going to do?
Well, the problem was that timelines. I'm in the middle of open enrollment right now.
Yeah.
And it was going to take me a moment to get them done. And I'm like, yesterday, as I had a little bit of, I ran a half marathon on Sunday. So after running a half marathon and I was hurting, showered, I needed to get to work. And by the time I was done with work, it was like, I don't know, 5:30 or so, 6. And I'm like, I am not, and I was hungry. I'm like, I don't have time for this. So I cheated and I got the Jolly Green Giant or Green Giant buttered Brussels sprouts, which actually taste better than my normal Brussels sprouts because they don't have that tanginess to it, which a lot of times when you're making fresh Brussels sprouts, if you're not careful, you get that tangy tartness to it or bitterness to it. These actually don't taste too bad, and they're just lightly buttered.
Well, I did look while I was up at that Eatsy's place, because they have a lot of prep foods. And basically you come home and prep it, you can warm it or use it, right? I did look to see if they had Brussels sprouts, and they didn't. So my problem is I go to Eatsy's, it's a $50 order. I don't care what if I walk in for one thing, I'm walking out spending $50. It happens every time I go there. So
they have yummy stuff.
They do. If they had a bar there, I would never leave.
Oh my goodness. Right. And I'd be right there with you. So I added a little bit of horseradish to the roast beef.
Yeah.
And this with the roast beef and the horseradish, yummy. That ginger on the rim just kicked it up a notch.
I think the roast beef with And I know we did say if we could have, I mean, I couldn't get it. I was looking for. We could have got prime rib to get prime rib because that's a Christmassy type, something you would have Christmassy
Right.
at your parties would be prime rib or roast beef, and you would have it with horseradish sauce.
Hmm.
So
I'm having it with the garlic mashed potatoes.
I want to see your, because you did yours with red. Let me see your mashed potatoes. Can you lift them up? Let me see them. Okay, so you just so you didn't believe the red skins on. You just
They're in there. You can barely see them. I mean,
Yeah.
they're kind of sort of in there. There's a little piece there,
Yeah.
a little piece there, because I only leave so much in there.
Yukon.
But
She made this with a Yukon Gold, I think. Yukon potato, and I still have the chunks of the potato in it.
I love the color.
Yeah.
I guess the Yukon Gold.
Well, you know, it is a little different in the light. So I look at it in the light there. It's more yellowy. It looks more white here. My camera lights give it a yellow tint.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try this with the Cranberry Bliss, and I need to cleanse my palate because I still have that. I can still taste it. It's right here, and it's a delicious taste. Oh my goodness! I'm not complaining. I'm just explaining.
Yeah.
That it's still there. So it's like one of those times that you just take that bite and you just want to savor and allow that flavor to stay in your mouth a little bit longer. And that's what I like about some of these drinks is that they're so yummy. You're just savoring them and they can last longer just because you're really tasting and you want to get a feel for the flavors and the bites that you're taking. And so a meal can take longer just because you're enjoying that moment with that drink and that flavor. So
that's why we paired it with food and not just had drinks.
Right. All right. So cranberry. Oh, okay. That does go well. I was expecting it to be too tart or too something with the Cranberry Bliss. It actually goes well.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm very surprised. Because of the ginger, I thought, I don't know that that's going to.
No, ginger. I think ginger is a good pairing for cranberries. And cream cheese. I mean, come on, cream cheese goes with everything.
Kind of like bacon.
I know. Which,
oh my goodness, I would, if I would have made the bacon maple Brussels sprouts, any extra pieces of bacon, I probably would have thrown it on top of the Cranberry Bliss.
What's this extra pieces of bacon? I don't get that concept.
Well, extra as in the ones that I would have eaten on the side anyway. That's my extra. So.
No, then again, so we went to Fort Worth for the weekend.
Nice.
All right, before Gwen had to leave. On the way back from Fort Worth, we get up in the morning. We're like, well, do you want to eat the hotel breakfast or do you want to go? I'm like, let's go find a Waffle House.
Ooh.
Now, do you have Waffle Houses out there?
Well, not an absolute Waffle House. There are some that make decent waffles. Like the original Pancake House has a waffle that's this big. As big as your head. Yeah.
No.
So,
Waffle House is a Southern thing for those people. All right. It is one of the greatest things I loved about moving to the South was because when I was a truck driver in the early 90s, that was one of the little places I learned about was Waffle House. These things are like it's almost like a 2x4 box, and you can get in there, get breakfast, and get out. And these people shuffle people through, and you get a good breakfast. I mean, you're talking a good greasy food breakfast.
Yeah.
So we stopped at Waffle House.
Okay.
I got we both got a waffle, of course, but then we got this like full breakfast. For us, it was like $28, right?
Okay.
We left a huge tip because for her and I, we go to breakfast, we'll spend $50.
Oh, wow.
Easily. Right? So we're like, and we couldn't eat it all. The funny thing, we couldn't eat it. Like the toast, we couldn't finish the toast. Grits, I ate half my grits. But I'm trying my darndest to stuff the bacon in because I'm like, I can't leave the bacon here.
I was going to say you cannot leave bacon behind. No, even if it's a little doggy bag with just the bacon, you can eat cold as you're driving, just as a little snack.
Yeah.
Be tricky.
Anyway.
Oh my goodness, you're making my mouth water.
I know. I know. A food and booze show. Oh my God, your mouth's going to water. Yeah. Anyway. So my next drink, I decided, let me show you the glass to give you a hint of what I might be making.
Oh, there's that chocolate all over that?
Chocolate, Hershey's
Oh,
chocolate. Now I tried to
oh,
do stripes to make it, but all of it sinks in. Now I did the glass at about 3 o'clock this afternoon and let it sit in the freezer. It's not now because it's not
right.
as the chill. And I wanted to do this one last because the other one's my favorite so far.
Okay.
But I put a little twist to the menu here today. This is a peppermint mocha martini.
Mm.
Ingredients are, I got a brownie liqueur.
Oh,
Well,
yum. Yum, yum.
peppermint schnapps, because you can't go through Christmas without saying the word schnapps. Yeah, I know. You went with, wait. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. You got a better schnapps. I'm just saying. I got the cheap, corner drunk schnapps.
And I was looking for a very specific schnapps,
Yeah.
and I couldn't find it, but I found this one, plus it was on sale. When it comes to schnapps, folks, make sure you get the good stuff, because otherwise you are just asking for a headache the next day.
Yeah, that's right. This is why this one is not peppermint. So I'm not going to drink a lot of this, but and then I of course have my Dripping Springs vodka into it, and it is Hershey's chocolate syrup in the thing, and then it's crushed up candy canes around the rim.
Oh.
It is, and I actually took the candy canes and crushed them, busted the bag open, and sprayed them across my counter, which I have to go clean up yet tonight. All right. And I just actually have it in here to mix up.
So two things. One, you can always use a pie dish to crush things in, and then that way it doesn't go everywhere. But two, how did you get the candy canes to stick to the edge of your glass?
First of all, I used some of the hot because it's some of the chocolate's gotten it to stick there. And then I used a little bit of simple syrup, wetting it. I wanted to do fluff marshmallow, but I didn't have any. I thought I did, but that's what I was normally do is I would put it in that and then put it because that would give the white rim
Right.
marshmallows. I didn't have any marshmallows. So I was going to use marshmallows. I also went to pull out my can of whipped cream, and the whole top of the whipped cream can had mold on it.
Ew.
Yeah. So I was not putting whipped cream on my drinks tonight. So
No, I wouldn't do that. You don't know what you have a science experiment going on.
So because I poured that, all right, and there was just that little bit in the bottom, what it did was it's starting to marble on top. There's a little couple, and I trying to get the camera up at the angle here. So see some of the dots are coming up there. The chocolate, what it does was, as the chocolate melted, it put that Hershey's chocolate into it. So
it sounds very decadent.
it is. This is a Christmas martini of Christmas martinis because it's peppermint mocha. It really does need to have like a marshmallow. It probably would be better with a marshmallow or whipped cream vodka. Truthful.
Okay.
Really, it would go much better with those. All right. So I'm going to try it with meat first this time. I love roast beef and horseradish.
Yes, it is so yummy. Nom, 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 nom. But yours just so sounds a lot like a dessert drink also.
Both of mine are really kind of dessert drinks. So, okay. It pairs all right with it. It's not too flavor punched and it's not too flavor bland. It's kind of like right in the middle.
Okay.
It's not like it's not accenting the beef, and the beef's not accenting the drink. You know what I mean? But it's not hurting it either.
So it's neutral.
It's a very neutral taste comparison.
Okay.
All right, which I'm shocked because usually, like, I hardly ever drink stuff with peppermint schnapps into it because of the fact of the headache you get the next day.
And not only that, it like there's something with peppermint that just goes boom. It's one thing that I love to do is either add a peppermint into, or just like a peppermint stick into my coffee or my hot cocoa, just to give it a little something, something.
So I almost was going to try to make it. I was trying to come up with the peppermint bark type idea. And I actually put less. I put very little schnapps in, truthfully, because of the fact that when you put peppermint in your drinks, I had actually had a peppermint White Russian last week when we went to see the Nutcracker, and we went to the bar and they had a peppermint White Russian. So I'm like, oh, that sounds like a Christmassy drink. I'll try it. I gagged. It was horrible.
Did they exchange it for something else?
No, I just threw it out. But peppermint is a very edgy thing in your alcohol. It just is. You know what I mean? I can't. Even my coffees, like the peppermint mocha coffees or peppermint mocha hot chocolate, which is another great drink to take. I would probably do peppermint hot chocolate and maybe put in a little bit of not liqueur. What am I thinking? Like Sambuca.
Oh, okay.
All right. Because peppermint can overpower even in that. I've actually when I actually get a peppermint mocha, I always have them put less peppermint in because it's overpowering taste.
Yeah, and if you're at Starbucks, plug for Starbucks just because there's the Cranberry Bliss bar here. But if you're ever at Starbucks, you get a drink and you don't like it, take it back and say, I didn't like it. They will make something else for you.
Yes, they will.
They truly will. I didn't know this. I found out this years ago. I had gone back and I said, oh, I wonder what I want. And they said, oh, the gingerbread latte or a ginger latte. And I said last week or the week before I had gotten one, hated it. And they're all, did you get it exchanged? And I said, what? They said, yes, if you don't like something, just tell us you don't like it. We'll make you something else. And I went, oh, I didn't know that, because I threw out $3.50 worth of a drink because I hated it. And I was like sipping on it, but because I was walking back to the office, by the time I got back, I'm like, I can't drink this.
You just throw it in the trash. It's time, Okay. Yeah. I have paired this with everything on the plate. And I got to tell you, the Cranberry Bliss bar kind of punches back and forth. All right. Nothing's bad. There's no rebellion against it. Everything kind of blends, but the Cranberry Bliss bar is the only one that's like a flavor accent.
Wow.
Everything else is kind of like it'll go with it,
but
it's not a wow punch.
Do you think it's because you didn't put as much peppermint schnapps in it? Could that have been the reason why?
I think if I put more peppermint into it, it would probably pop. I think it would probably kick more against things. Right.
But the thing is, if you put too much of it, then then you're not going to like it. Because it's too much.
And as I said, even everything that I ever do with peppermint, I take it back. All right. I do not. Almost every peppermint, and I'm sure the peppermint schnapps is the same way, is the peppermint syrups they make between the sugar and the peppermint is just always a heavy feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got to have something a little bit lighter. So what I was going to go before I picked this one up was Rumple Minze, MINZE. Couldn't find it. When I looked online, they were supposed to have it. They didn't have it. So I ended up getting with this one. It's 100 proof peppermint schnapps. It's one of the higher end ones. It's going to run about $23 or so. This one happened to be on sale, but it's also 100 proof. Whenever you're getting a peppermint schnapps, make sure, or any schnapps really, make sure it's 100 proof rather than that 70 or 80% proof, because the 70 or 80% is what's going to give you the headache. The 100 proof, you got to watch how much you put in there, because some of these will hit you, or, and you won't even know it. But this is not going to give you a headache unless you drink too much.
So I've got Herman Walker, which is a cheaper brand coming out of New York, and it is 60 proof.
Okay. So that one's one.
I'm pretty sure if I put a lot of this in there, I would have a killer headache in the morning.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't, when you're enjoying Life is too short to drink cheap liquor.
It is.
In my opinion.
It is really. I mean, and you think about it. Schnapps is something that's going to keep for a while, and
Yeah.
it's not something you're going to. It's not like it's something you're going to buy and drink out in a weekend. This
Right.
is something that's going to be on your bar that you're going to be accenting drinks with for a long time.
Yeah. Unless you're making a big punch bowl and you're making more. I mean, this.
Yeah.
No matter what you're making, a bottle this size is gonna go a long way because you don't need as much.
Well, I'll bet you this has been on our bar for at least 3 to 4 years.
And it's a small bottle.
That's a tiny bottle, but yeah, and I don't think it's not even half gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just when it comes to schnapps, really they are accent. Like I have a peach schnapps down there as well. They're an accent. They're not something you drink by itself. I never have. It's always been an accent to some drink.
Yeah. Whereas a vodka, this is from our vodka tasting, it's halfway.
Wait a minute. All the vodkas, with exception of Crater Lake, I keep trying to hide it because that's the one she keeps. All the vodkas from our vodka tasting in our house is gone.
Well, that's because Crater Lake's yummy, and that's why you're hiding it.
I'm hiding it, but yeah, that's because we have martinis in our house quite a bit.
Well, wait till I send you the Crater Lake Reserve, because that one with your martinis, we might have to do a martini one where we try martinis with different vodkas.
Yeah.
I think you're really, really going to like it. You're really going to like it.
I mean, the ideas that we can do on this show, I mean, come on. We got years of creating content doing this.
Well, there's something that I always think whenever I make it. I'm going to throw one more out there. I know we said we were only going to make 2 drinks. However,
we got about 8 minutes left. You can do another one.
I'm all about a special hot cocoa. That's my thing. It's like I want a special hot cocoa. And what a special hot cocoa has always meant to me is there's going to be booze in it. And there's, again, like the buttered rum, you can do whatever you want with a special hot cocoa. In this case, my special hot cocoa is a Mogul masher cocktail, which is hot cocoa with peppermint schnapps, and it calls for Bacardi 151, but I'm a little bit of a rebel, and since I have Kraken here, I'm going to use the Kraken spiced rum. Okay, so my favorite is Abuelita. So you can go with any kind of hot cocoa that you want. I usually like to make the Mexican hot cocoa because it's my favorite. But if you just want to go easy, if you can find Abuelita in the packet, this is great. I was introduced to this when I started backpacking overnight. Oh my goodness, for the morning, this is awesome. But this time I'm going to use my Allstate hot cocoa because it's a little one. I don't want to open my Abuelita. But essentially, it's hot cocoa. Make your hot cocoa however you want to make your hot cocoa. And in this case, I'm going to use my small cup here. So I'm not going to make as much as I normally would, which is my big mug, because I want y'all to see the colors. So you make your hot cocoa in there. And again, this one is an instant one. You can use, if you're using like the Swiss Miss or any of those, use less water than it's calling for because it's going to get watered down. And I don't like the taste of those. They really are just watered down. So use less water. If it calls for 12 ounces, use like 8 ounces. So you still have some hot flavor in there. It calls for your peppermint schnapps, which I'm opening. So I'm going to add a little bit of peppermint schnapps in there. And it calls for your rum. And I'm going to add a little bit more rum than schnapps in there. And then, of course, you want it to look good. So, hey, look, mine doesn't. I'm using the Ready Whip Extra Creamy.
I'm using extra creamy, yeah. I didn't have extra creamy, I just had the regular one.
And then to make it look even prettier, add a little bit of, you can just, usually
the red cookie sprinkles?
Oh, this is ground cinnamon.
Oh,
but yes, cinnamon. I love that idea. And I'm going to kick it up a notch with a little bit, and I mean a little bit of nutmeg, just a touch. Most of the time, my special hot cocoa is hot cocoa, whiskey, bourbon, rum, and a marshmallow. And look at how pretty that looks. I mean, that's just kind of pretty. Look at that. Just making it look so pretty. And this one's just one to warm. Oh, yum. Oh, there's the peppermint. The other thing is, if you don't have peppermint schnapps, get a candy cane, crush it up, throw it in there.
Yeah. To me, the candy cane idea will give you the touch of the taste of peppermint you want without overpowering it.
Exactly. That's because sometimes all you need is just a little bit, and the peppermint candy cane, it won't completely melt, but it'll give you a hint of peppermint in there. So throw that one in first. This one's more of a dessert drink. I just kind of threw it in there in case we had a little bit of time left. I figured something warm and share my special hot cocoa, which is Mongol mogul masher. In this case, this is a mogul masher made my way, hence the special hot cocoa. Oh, yum. Oh, so since you have schnapps, you can make this one, Tim.
I might, except for I don't have the hot water and everything up here to do it right now.
When we're done, this is going to be your relaxed drink after tonight. After you have dinner, this will be your dessert. Although I love both of yours, I will have to make them because, especially your first one. Oh my goodness, that one was just.
That's the better of the two on my drinks tonight. That first one is the better.
I'm partial to my special hot cocoa, but of the other two, the buttered rum was just cozy and
the buttered rum seems like another great hot drink, but to me, I wanted to have your pomegranate ginger smash.
Yeah, I was gonna say the other one is like nice and warm, but if I had to choose between the buttered rum and my pomegranate ginger smash, I'd go with the pomegranate.
Yeah.
It just, you can add ice to it if you want. I didn't think it needed it. Very simple. Just go out and get your pom, either regular or I love this pomegranate cherry. This was super yummy. Vodka and ginger beer. Cock and Bull. This is the one that I was talking about last time.
Yeah.
But really, any ginger beer, if you go with Q, the Q ginger beer is usually you can get it at Target more than anywhere else. But it's very mainstream. It's very toned down. You won't get that high ginger pop to it. And then, you don't have to put the rim on it, but you can. It just gives it a little extra.
Something about Christmas drinks, you expect the rim. Think about it. You do. You expect the rim.
Yeah. And the other way, if you don't have the ginger, if you want, just get a cherry or just get simple syrup on the edge of your glass and a little bit of sugar. It's as simple as that, but if you do the ginger, like when I did the little ginger guy, little here, it was the edge of it. When you're drinking it, you will taste the ginger, which will just accentuate, so all you have to do is the edge of the ginger and sugar, and that's all you really need. Very simple. So that's mine. My pomegranate ginger smash is my favorite.
Okay. Well, so we got some interesting ones. All right. Yeah. This is a good week. And I still have food left over to eat, so I won't have to make dinner.
There you go. I'm right there with you. I have more. I have extras of everything. So this is dinner for me too. And then I'm going to continue working in the middle of open enrollment. I'm going to continue on. So these were very subtle drinks. And I really like that they're very subtle and light. They're not harsh. So, but again,
because not that we would encourage you to have a drink and go back to work like we will.
It happens sometimes. You know what? The little break in the middle of the day. Yeah. 4:30 my time.
Middle of the day. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now, I had a boss once that told me I had to work half days. Yeah. He said, you pick which half, 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. or 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. You pick. Half day. Yeah.
Slave drivers.
I know. So rough. Anyway. Lady G, Miss Gladys, will you you have any idea what we're gonna do next week, or shall we surprise
Yes.
them?
Oh, I think we kind of let the cat, or at least I think I let the cat out of the bag last week.
Mm-hmm.
We are gonna do eggnog.
Egg.
Anything, or it's gonna have eggnog no matter what we do. It's gonna have eggnog. What we do with it, again, kind of like the buttered rum, you can make it your own. So we're
Yeah.
gonna have some fun with that one. So I'll be experimenting next weekend before Monday to figure out what I'm gonna do with an eggnog, because most people go, yeah, you gotta have eggnog, but ew. I'm gonna be using a light eggnog, just to throw that out there, and then I'll be experimenting with what I want to do with it and see what's fun.
Mhm. Cool. Cool. So I was wondering what we were gonna do, but anyway, we shall be here next week. In the meantime, guys, I want to thank you guys. Take and check out our recipes this week. My recipes were, and they will be posted all right on the Facebook page. And my recipes are the peppermint mocha martini and the gingerbread martini. Gladys's?
Mine was the pomegranate ginger smash and the buttered rum.
Cool. So, and we'll put the recipes up on the Facebook page as well as tell you where we got them from. You want to go there, check out the websites people who gave them to us, because that's all we did was investigate a little bit, find out, and tweak them a little to make them our own.
That's right, because we got to.
Yeah, because
That's
we
part
have
of
to.
the fun.
Yeah, it is. So, all right. Well, guys, we will see you next week. Have a great week.